It's been a long time coming, but after many requests, Ninja Kiwi finally did it. They changed the Master Builder to finally be able to overclock other paragons. This is revolutionary. So you'll see now when I upgrade to the Master Builder here, it'll now gain a second ability over here. Not sure if it's official, but people call it the Power Glove. Now, in exchange for this extra power, what Ninja Kiwi did in terms of balance is they lowered the Master Builder overall damage, as well as the fact that you can't overclock itself. So now much closer to a real support paragon. Additionally, the Power Glove allows you to overclock targets around that target that you're overclocking for 15 seconds, a much shorter duration. So check this out. We've got AoE overclock with that guy. And now after you build a paragon, as you can see, it is selectable to be overclocked for the very first time. Now, at degree 1, this Power Glove ability, it does not have full uptime on paragons. You see, it looks like about 75%, but you can make it 100% by upping the degree of the engineer, because just like how all paragons work, the ability cooldown is reduced the higher degree you get, and I think if I did the math right, degree 40 basically gets you full uptime. Check this out. Right about when the Power Glove is up again, it times out on the Apex Blastmaster, so 40 is a good number to keep in your head next time you think about wanting to overclock or wanting to have full uptime on an overclock paragon. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go through each paragon here to see how much better they are with the permanent Power Glove ability. Which I recall, the buff on the paragon is the exact same as how a normal overclock would work, aka 1.67x attack speed. And of course, we're just going to jump straight to the juicy bits at degree 100 on around 195. The last time I tested this, I believe the Dark Paragon failed on around 200 unbuffed. Also, I'm just going to get higher than 40 for these tests here. Because one, I don't plan to obviously have the Master Builder attack at all. So having a higher degree just means I have more leeway in using the ability, if that makes sense. Give overclock and see if the extra 67% attack speed is enough to put us over the edge this round. Looking good so far. That bad there is at 60%, 80%. Oh, it's going to pop. It's gonna do the thing, isn't it? Come on, DDT's down. So close. It ultimately dies the same round, but you can see it's obviously much closer, because last time it didn't even pop. One last try, but I think it's all for naught. Yup, dies to Moabs. Next up, Boomerang Paragon. Luckily, there is a spot on logs where the Master Builder will not attack, and I believe up here is that placement. Look at that beautiful line of sight that we have blocked here. I also wanted to see if I could tech bot. I believe you can tech bot, yes. Perfect. So now we can have a fully hands-off experience with this guy. Now, just for reference, the Boomerang Paragon also died on round 200 last time there was no Power Glove. And it popped the first F-Bat somewhere around here. And then it dies to the insides. It would have, even if we did beat it though, we would have no chance against Bat number 2. So that should give you, again, a reference for how much earlier we're going to be able to beat round 200. On that note, it's important to mention that not all paragons will be exactly 67% stronger, because things like damage over time exist, which overclock does not buff. Therefore, the best towers to pair with the Power Glove is ones where its main attack is a majority of the damage, and not its secondary stuff. I would wager that the damage over time is marginal, though, compared to all the other aspects of the Boom Paragon, so it's probably close to 67% stronger, just not quite exactly there. And let's see, yep, it's gonna pop. Maybe not 67% faster, but certainly enough to take us there. And now I'm gonna alternate between first round, just get more shots in the second bat here, come on. Can the Boomer Paragon finally eclipse round 200 with the help of Engineer? Answer, yes it can. Now, I have to say, it's quite interesting that they went for this Master Builder change now, especially during a time where I feel like the Master Builder started to shine as an actual DPS paragon. A lot of people have been picking it up for boss events, and literally using it to solo elite bosses, because its damage is very strong when powered up fully. But now I guess it's kind of lost that identity. And also, round 200 seems like a big roadblock for a bunch of paragons, because holy crap. Boom Paragon jumped 12 rounds before falling again. And also, apparently the Engineer got 500,000 pop somewhere. That's unfortunate, but I think it's safe to say that it's negligible compared to the 152 million. I think it has to do with the bad hitboxes being a little bit too big at times, but yeah. Plus 12 rounds with an overclocked Boomerang Paragon. Very cool. Oh, you know what's not cool? I just realized that when you restart the round, the buff is gone. So, for some reason it doesn't save it, which is strange because I know overclock buffs, like, are saved. That's important because this will make testing more annoying. I'm gonna have to beat rounds with the Power Glove, like, off cooldown if I want to, like, retry them, for example. Next up, Tack Paragon on Resort. This is kind of cooked to test because I don't think there's as good of a line of sight blocker as there is on Logs. The best I can find for the Engineer is probably over here, but it's definitely gonna hit. Also, surprise, surprise, this is another Paragon that also died on round 200 at 300. It did a little bit better than the Boomerang in the fact that the first F-Bad popped around here, but it didn't have any utility for any of the Bloon side, so that's where it failed spectacularly. I guess on that note, it should be important to mention that this thing also got additional buffs, so things might not be fully accurate because this thing has overall faster meteor cooldown. But again, if a tower relies on an ability for its damage, then it's going to perform a little bit worse, like in terms of with the Power Glove. I would say a good amount of the damage is focused on the... Ooh, that was a good clutch for the Meteor AoE. But I would say a good amount of the damage is focused on the Meteor, so I don't know. Maybe we're getting like overall 40% more DPS with the Power Glove. Let's see. Actually, I lied. This might be better than Logs. And avoid the bad entirely. How lucky are we? So, can I beat DDTs? Nope. We might still lose to round 200 because, like, we can't handle that. Alright, attempt number 2. Oh, this popped a lot earlier, but holy crap. Absolutely pathetic. Pathetic showing there. I messed up. I forgot that the Tack doesn't have innate camo, so we actually have to give the reactors around across the entire map. That's why I couldn't hit DTs earlier. And so maybe now we'll be able to beat round 100, right? Let's see. Meteor? Oh wow, 59 lives. What a lucky son of a gun. Well, it did it. It beat one round, at least. How many more rounds, though? Can I get one more? Meteor? Ooh, that was close. We might still die, though. I don't know if this can handle FBFEs. Damn, not even with overclock buff. Either indeed the meteor attack is very crucial to this tower, or it just sucks. I don't know. But I think one round is all we're gonna get with Tack Paragon. Yikes. Now this one's definitely not going to be as strong. First off, I'm just kind of curious to see if the Power Glove works on the aircraft, mini aircraft carriers too, because if it works how normal towers work, then it should not. So let's see. The first bad pops around there, and the second pops about here without Power Glove. Gotcha. Now, if we redo the round, is it possible to see if the fighter planes are shooting any faster? For me, I don't know. Hard to tell the difference, but I know that the normal attack is definitely faster, and yep, that pops over there, and that pops over there. But still, a majority of this guy's power is contained in the 2 hooks they have to insta-kill per round, so that's not going to be increased at all by the Power Glove. We also made it to around 250 last time, so we're going to jump close to there to see what difference it makes, essentially. Well, it did pretty well in the rounds preceding it, so I expect this to be a breeze. Yep, I can even just hook that in, and just like that, new PB with this guy. Reminder, we want to set it to last to gain the 10% attack speed bonus that we get from the Monkey Knowledge. I didn't even use 2 hooks that round, and that was still enough. But judging about how the Boomerang Paragon test went, I think plus 10 rounds for this amount of extra attack speed is pretty accurate. And that perfectly sums up how quickly free play scaling kicks into reality, you know what I mean? Don't know why the automatic hooks didn't fire for that DT there, but again. Okay, to beat this round, what we do is we set it to strong targeting to pop this one, and then we're gonna automatically hook in the third bad instead. This makes things a wee bit easier. We just don't have the 10% extra attack speed on this guy, right? Come on. There we go. Okay, this round is pretty cooked. There were 4 bads. I can't hook in the last 2, but I think the damage is there. Okay, it's finally GG here. 5 BDs, 3 of which I have to pop manually. There is no way. I lied. Okay, genuinely, I did not expect this paragon to be the one to get the most rounds so far. Because on paper, it should not have inherited those buffs as well. And I think this round is probably doable with a bit more retries. Alright, I've tried many a times here, but if this doesn't work, then we just somehow can't hook in the last EDT. Yeah. So plus 12 rounds just like the Boom Paragon, albeit much more impressive because these are much higher rounds. Cell Paragon is an interesting one. This one will get all the good buffs from the attack speed if I just simply don't use the ability, because the ability will disable the tower for 15 seconds, which I feel like now that we have overclock, it's probably worth it to just keep it on last all the way. I guess we'll find out. But again, for reference, this thing died to round 200, but just barely. It popped bad number 2 over here. We just couldn't deal with the insides. Bad number 1 pops incredibly early. And wow. That indeed looks like 67% better. Look how early that second bad pops. My god. Like, perhaps there's still some merit to using the Hypnotic Siege Core ability if there's a lot of bads. In which case, the normal attack can only hit some of them at a time. We had to focus the first normal bads there, but now I'm dead too. Probably F-bad insides? Yeah. This round's cooked without using the ability, I think. So, let's beat all the ZMGs first, if possible. And then blast off. That's a lot of downtime. Good news, it's an intersection though. And it also gives a stun, and it's a lot of damage, so never mind. You definitely still want to use it, because that was a big diff. Unfortunately, even at degree 100, that radioactive ability, it takes forever to cool off, so I'm not going to have it for round 206. We must clutch up here, but it gets cock blocked by the ZMG there. One more try here, better micro. Oh, that popped so early. How the hell did that leak? Still. 5,000 years later, last try. If it can't beat 2 Cerams, then I'm very disappointed, but it did. But we needed the extra easy mode lives to really scrape by. Well, good thing we got past the 206 roadblock, because for some reason the next 5 rounds after that are just an absolute joke. I'll take it though. We're gonna do another plus 12 here, aren't we? I'm sensing a pattern. We definitely need the ability here. Big damage coming in. Alright, beat that. Oh, I didn't have any leeway. I think it's only fitting if every single tower can max out at 12 rounds only, and that would be kind of funny. We beat the DT this time, but we're not gonna beat the second F-bad, so that's a rip. This one is so much HP. No shot. But hey, we popped it, so I would say that is a pretty big win in my books. Next up, Ninja Paragon. We're gonna break the order here a little bit, because I want to save the best for last. And by best, I don't mean by the highest round, because otherwise I probably would have tested this last. It got to 243 last time, for reference. Where I think the Ninja will benefit a lot from the overclock, it's just that in terms of single target only, it's not going to be able to do any more to, like, an F-bad for the sticky. You only have one sticky on a target at a time, but it certainly does help multiple bads, and that is where it's going to shine. Because right now on 242, it's not even close. And yep, the F-bad popped in the same point on 243. Could this be another plus 12 round era? For consistency of landing the stickies on the F-bads also, we have the Ninja set on strong. Should be okay for the most part. Maybe switch to first for the ending part, just to catch any strays, but I think it's doing a good job. Uh-oh. Getting close to leaking, but somehow we're clinging alive. Come on, just 2 more rounds to go. This is an absurd amount of bads, though. It's not looking good here. I got switched back to first. But there's no more F-bats under this, so I think we can hold okay. 1 more round to go. Alright, and we did it. Let's see if this can break the plus 12 barrier for the first time in Paragon of history. A historic moment. Up to plus 14 now. My god. But nope. There are so many F-bats this round that it's definitely the end here. There's still 3 left to be popped. Let's give it 1 more go. Nevertheless, good showing from the Ninja Paragon. It did exactly as well as I thought it would do with overclock. Just free play 2 OP. Next up, Spike Paragon. It's gonna be those ones where in this test specifically here, it's not gonna look as great round increase wise. For your reference, round 278 is what it got to for degree 100 solo. But the majority of the damage is focused in terms of late game on the Spike Get-In, which does not obviously get increased here. Only the giant spike power, which is looking awfully beefy. Let's see if it still causes a massive leg when Bloons TD here, because I think that should, yeah. Actually, no leg there. That was pretty good. But let's see. 2 bats here. Can it eat it all up? Surely it can. Yep, here comes the leg. Successfully defended. You'll probably see me pull it out at some point, but this is especially useful against bosses, where the Spikegeddon isn't that useful. You want to use the main attack to insta-kill any boss coming in. Just so you know, in case the round increase isn't as high as you expected. Also, I couldn't really find an NG spot that could not attack. It would just ultimately have to be here. Gets a little bit of pops and stuns, but overall, probably a negligible. Let me take back what I said about the leg also. It's not fixed. Because it looks like 3 F-bats basically brick our game. Somehow, the Spike Ball stays alive though. And here's for a new PB. 1 down, 2 down, and 3. And well, what did I tell ya? It's not going to make it an extra 12 rounds, only 4. But trust me, the engineer above Spike Paragon will be back. Now for our second last test, the Goliath Doom Ship. This one got to round 241, and I don't expect another plus 12 out of it because a lot of the damage is concentrated in the ability. I should also note that squeezing every round of this guy is going to be really annoying due to having to micro it. So I'll do some simple micro patterns, but that's about it. Leave it on Figure Infinite for the rounds coming in, because it's better to have it in a pattern when there's a lot of bads on screen. When it's down to like the last 2 or 1 though, we'll do Wing Monkey to chase them, and then we'll use the Carpet Bomb to beat the innards. And just like that, new PB. I didn't really mention it for any of the other Paragon tests, but my god, does an overclocked Goliath Doom Ship look incredibly lovely. That pattern, I gotta say, is something to die for. Literally. Okay, better micro this time, does the trick. Okay, this still has a chance to actually surprise me. We're already plus 9 rounds here, and not really close to dying. So I guess don't underestimate the power of all of those main attacks there. Alright, Car Bomb to clutch this up here. Don't die. Good. Yep, that was close. If we just beat this round here, then we have joined the club. Oh, that was a very clutch Car Bomb, but I don't think we're gonna have it for this part here, are we? We have to get lucky with the DTs, and we did. We're not gonna be the insides, though. No way. No way. Oh, that was close, though. Definitely doable. Oh, you know what just happened? I think redoing the round makes me lose the Power Glove immediately, because look at it. I just used it, but now it's gone. So I gotta backtrack and go back to 251. Okay, this is the run here. We beat all of them. I just can't die the insides, come on. I could still die here. No. Nice. Oh, that was a nightmare of a round. And I'm probably cooked here. Yep, that F-bat is too far. So what are the odds we get another plus 12 round increase? And now last on list are Magus Perfectus Wizard Paragon. Maybe a weird choice to be picking last because this is not a boss where I think it would perform the best when overclocked. That's due, you know, comboing the Metamorphosis and the Power Glove together makes it do probably the biggest sustained burst damage that any Paragon can wield, which is pretty dirty, and I'm delighted to see it. Maybe for free play, though, it's not as good because the DOT is a big part of its damage rather than the Metamorphosis. Well, both, but you know what I mean. So check this out. I messed up. I used the wrong button. That's okay. I can wait again and use Metamorphosis. Power Glove Metamorphosis to melt 232. 234 is the round it got to, by the way. So, want to see it in full power here? Well, we have the Metamorphosis coming right back up again, so check this out. Strong targeting, and watch it go to town on that F-bat. Holy crap. 100 to 0 within seconds. Okay, definitely not the wrong choice then in terms of free play. Because I don't know about you, but that looks pretty damn good still. And there's 234. I must say, no one Paragon should wield this much power. Let go. We're getting sustained 300,000 DPS. But again, that's not even the max potential, because there aren't even enough targets to maximize its DPS there. Holy crap, we don't even need the Phoenix, actually, if Metamorphosis is this good. Because I didn't even put the F-bat on fire that round, and I still clutched up without even a sweat. Still, good to use it, though, whenever possible. I remember last time I tested this not long ago, we were struggling to FDTs because, you know, the main attack didn't have enough damage, but I think this also, it definitely buffs the wizard. Or if not the wizard, then the main attack bolt can handle DDTs now, thanks to Power Glove. 5 more rounds to go until we can, until we do the funny. Another one. Metamorphosis. And say good night. Blast off again. And now 1 more round until the funny. I think this could, it feels like this is so good that it can do more than every other paragon so far. I don't know, that's just my gut feeling. Here we go. It's gonna be another round where it's not even gonna be close. Yeah. Now, what's kind of funny, and I've noticed it, is that because of Power Glove, it depletes the mana a lot faster, but that's a trade-off that's worth making, right? I would say. I'm talking about this main attack here. It eats up so much mana. That's not a problem though, right? Come on. Phoenix? Oof. This round's doable for sure. Ideally, what we want then is to use the main attack as little as possible. Like here. It actually depletes more mana when it hits more targets, so that's why it didn't look as much, or it didn't deplete as much as it looked like that time. Come on, though. Did we do better this time? Yes, we did. Perfect. Used up all the mana at the perfect point in time. Look at that. Down 10,000 mana within 3 seconds. Ouch. But this is for the record. The biggest round increase from any paragon so far. At plus 15 and counting if we beat this round. Sounds strong, and yup. This is gonna shatter. I indeed picked the best for last. What the hell, man? Metamorphosis? Only 1 FBAT this round. Still, only used up half the mana part to beat it. This round's a true test because there's so many FBATs, but I think it can sustain. Not to mention, I feel like we get more Walls of Fire. Ooh, that's so close. We didn't actually get all the way though, but we have to beat it. We have to beat everything with the Metamorphosis this round. Come on, straight line action. We're getting both of them at once, but not anymore. Oh, man. It still lacks the projectile speed to catch up DTs. Alright, 1 last try here. Can we clutch up? Nope. Okay, 1 more try. Well, we tried, but ultimately, 251 is probably too much. Hope you enjoyed the results of all this, though. Oh, we did it, but we're not going to beat this one here. And that's where it sucks. Oh, I lied. We did beat it. There's no way you clutch up the last bit, though. Especially when there's a battle live. Nope. Very, 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 very close, though. Just as a summary for all the other paragons showcased in this video, these are results of all of them getting Power Glove. No, it's not fully accurate, because Dart Paragon did help. It was just the round it got bricked on. So take these results with a grain of salt. Again, this is not the last you'll see of the Power Glove. There is a lot of potential still to be unveiled. So if you want to catch that, please subscribe. Otherwise, click here for more.